Now, there's a lot going on in the world this week. We're not going to go too much into anything to do with what's going on in the Middle East. And we're not even going to talk about the Australian cricket team's performance today or earlier today. So we'll try and put that aside and we'll talk more about jobs and employment throughout Australia. My name's Mark Smith. I am the Group Managing Director of People to People in Australia and the UK and Frog Recruitment in New Zealand. And this is P2P Live, where we talk everything jobs and employment. So we've got a jammed-packed broadcast today. Our stat of the week is the payroll numbers that the ABS release each week. And it's really quite interesting to see how the jobs market is really holding up in Australia at the moment. We've got two hot jobs in Australia. We've got an opportunity in New Zealand, and we've got a video from the UK. So if you're looking for an opportunity in London right now, then stay tuned for that one. And we've got a special guest today, Carlos Chambers, who's the CEO and founder of Carbon Invoice. And P2P has been doing some research recently about the importance of sustainability and purpose with organisations to attract talent. And Carbon Invoice is a unique organisation which enables companies like P2P, which partner with Carbon Invoice, to do just that. So we'll learn more about that with Carlos. And finally, we got the results from last week's Twitter poll. So much to get through. Let's get started with this week's Stat of the Week. So on a very regular basis, the ABS in Australia release the payroll jobs numbers. And so this is the number of Australians who are being payrolled at the moment. Just-in-time payroll service enables the ABS to produce some very powerful information on the numbers of Australians actually working. So what we're looking at the moment is the graph with the indexed starting at 100 for week 10 in 2020. That's March 2020. So it's around the time of COVID. So that's 100. And you can see the big fall off in the light blue line in 2020 and the number of Australians who were being payrolled at that time. And then the steady climb, and we got back to pre-COVID levels in the end of 2020. And then since then, you can see that each year, 21, 22 is yellow, 23 is our current year, that we are at record levels of people being payrolled every single week. So what we're looking at the moment, though, in more detail, and interestingly, I did see something released from Kate Lamb of the ABS, she's the head of labour statistics, and I just read to you something that she actually released. She said that that it is the labour market data that we're looking at right here may be suggesting that the market is starting to slow. But what you can see here is that there's no dramatic change. So there's a fall in payroll jobs in 12 of the 19 industries over the month. The industries that had the greatest gain were public administration, safety, and a lot of that's got to do with the upcoming referendum, literally tomorrow, which has affected the labour numbers. There's also some strong numbers for education and training. But if we took out the influence of those two industries, say education and public administration, then the remaining industries fell by 0.3%. So it is holding, basically, and on a state-by-state basis, you're seeing numbers in most jurisdictions hold or remain strong. So that's the number of people in work. I think last week or the week before we did something on the number of job ads, and they have collapsed. But that hasn't translated into a fall in the number of Australians actually working. And so it's good news, but some hints of negativity from the head of labour statistics from the ABS this week. And that's this week's Stat of the Week. Couple of hot jobs in Australia this week. Here's the first one. It's a HR advisor. It's a 12-month contract in Sydney. And you need to chat to Brooke Mackay. one of our senior consultants, principal consultant actually, here in the Sydney office, to learn more about this opportunity. You'll be managing the entire employee life cycle from onboarding, contract changes, etc., as well as being the point of contact for all policies. And the requirements are that you need to have HR tertiary qualifications. Now, if you're interested, pick up the phone to Brooke, 02 82709780, or you can simply hit apply now in the comments. We can you'll see that each of the vacancies that we mentioned today are in the comments. You can hit apply now to get your application, or go old school, pick up the phone. Here's the next opportunity that we've got this week in Australia, and that's an events administrator. That's also in Sydney. You need to speak to Bella Favetti from our team here. 82709740 is her number. And this is a permanent opportunity, paying $70,000, end-to-end administrative support oversight for this company's events. And to get Guernsey for this particular opportunity, you've got to have experience with event coordination. I know that it is quite a sexy industry that a lot of people are looking to get into, events management, and this could be the way that you get in there. So if you're interested, get in touch with Bella or hit apply now for the opportunity in the comments there as well. So whilst we have these two positions in Sydney, I will mention the P2P talent webinar series for anybody who is looking for work in Australia. Then we have a sequence of webinars that are happening around the country at the moment. The next one is next week in Sydney, so check out our website for that as well. So that's this week's 2 hot jobs. Now, you might want to escape the absolutely appalling Wallabies performance and move to a country that has a rugby team. And if you want to do that, then we've got a financial reporting analyst job in Mount Wellington in Auckland, and you need to speak to Shav, one of our consultants from our Frog recruitment team. That's our sister company that's based in Auckland and Wellington. And what you'll be doing for this particular opportunity is providing financial reporting using Tableau data. You'll be also undertaking or working with training programs on systems such as SAP and Tableau as well. So you've got to have 3 to 5 years experience with financial systems, SAP certification, and an accounting qualification as well. Look, to learn more about this job, if you think, well, I've got a little bit of that, I don't know if I've got everything, then pick up the phone to Shav in Prague in Auckland. So +64 for New Zealand, 9 362 0781. Anybody in Australia can, with Australian passport, can easily move and work in New Zealand. So to learn more about this opportunity, hit apply now in the comments, or pick up the phone to Shav to get some more information on this one. Now, we also have another opportunity, and this one is in the UK. So maybe you're thinking about a working holiday over to London at the moment. The market is relatively strong over there from what the team are telling me. And we've got a video about that particular opportunity. So if we can play that one for us, Jacob, that'd be great.
Hi, I'm Hannah, and I'm currently recruiting for a senior personal assistant or executive assistant to join an incredible, renowned and innovative fashion brand. With a global presence, this brand is seeking a PA to support the Chief Operating Officer. I'm seeking a highly motivated and experienced senior personal assistant to provide comprehensive support to the COO. Your responsibilities will include diary management, arranging and booking travel, preparing meeting agendas and taking minutes, office management when required, and assisting the COO with personal administration as and when needed. The role has a requirement of 3 days per week minimum in the office, and the salary is dependent on experience, but as a guide, the range is between £50,000 and £60,000 per annum. If you're interested and have relevant experience, please drop me a message or send an email to the contact details on the screen. Thank you very much.
Okay, we've got a very special guest here on P2P Live on Friday, all the way from Wellington in New Zealand, and that's Carlos Chambers from Carbon Invoice. Good afternoon, Carlos. First thing, let's not talk about the rugby.
Good afternoon, Mark. Great to be here. I presume we have your support on Sunday morning.
I'm not going to go that far. I mean, and here we are. We're meant to be talking about sustainability, and I don't think I could sustain myself to support the All Blacks on Sunday morning. I just don't think that could happen. But anyway, you never know. But let's not talk about that. Let's jump into what we are here to talk about, which is Carbon Invoice and the services that you provide. I just as a little bit of a preliminary on this. We're about to, I think we're doing a press release from People to People today about a survey that we did on purpose and sustainability and what that means for talent who are looking for work and whether it actually does influence their decision to take a job. And the numbers were very strong. There was difference in the different demographics, but I suppose the point I'm making is that it matters to organisations to actually take some action. And for service-based organisations like P2P, we were a little bit lost as to what to do. And then we met you. So do you want to tell everybody about what Carbon Invoice is all about and how service businesses like People to People and those who are watching who are hiring managers, how they can get involved or what Carbon Invoice is about?
Absolutely, Mark. So my name's Carlos Chambers. I'm the CEO and co-founder Carbon Invoice. We offer services businesses a seriously simple way to start their climate journey in 3 steps in 3 minutes is one way to think about it. We allow you to measure your carbon footprint using your existing financial data, which you've already structured and stored for your bookkeeping and accounting process. And secondly, we allow you to mitigate your carbon footprint by funding the planting of native Australian trees around various parts of Australia. Those trees then sequester that carbon over the lifetime as they grow, allowing you to know that you have done your bit and accounted for your carbon footprint. And then thirdly, we are very focused on helping you communicate the positive impact you're having, that tangible impact of putting trees in the ground, taking action by measuring your footprint and doing your bit in this very important climate effort. So yeah, that's Carbon Invoice in a nutshell. We work with all services businesses, so great strong Australian brands like People to People, other recruitment firms, consultants, agencies, law firms. If you're in services businesses and you're sort of scratching your head looking for a way to start your journey, like I would say about 97% of privately held Australian businesses who have not yet started their journey, then this is one very simple way, very credible way to get going.
Yeah, I know that just our own personal experience that, and the numbers add up so quickly. We started this process with our frog recruitment brand in New Zealand, and then we've now moved to be working with you across Australia and also in the UK. So yeah, I don't have the number handy.
People to People, it's alone has funded the planting of nearly 5,000 trees in Australia. I don't have the frog numbers to hand, but I think it would be another nearly 1,000 or so in New Zealand as well. So yeah, you're having an enormous impact across Australasia and in the UK as well.
Yeah, great. And so if let's say there's somebody, because I know that what this discussion will also be broadcast with our P2P Live UK session. So we might have a few people who are watching from London and all around the UK. And if they're interested as well, can you partner with organisations in the UK?
Yeah, we can. So we support customers across New Zealand, Australia, and the UK. We're well over into the hundreds in terms of services firms, and yeah, we can support you in the UK. So those 3 geographies, New Zealand, Australia, and the UK, are the current markets we're active in.
Okay, great. And I've just noticed if you are interested in learning more, that in the comments, Jacob has popped in there that with your website, though, that if somebody does want to have a chat with you, Carlos, about this, how should they get in touch with you?
So you can reach out through the website, or reach out to me directly. I'm very available. Carlos@carboninvoice.com is my email. And yeah, there's a chat bot on the web. There's a messaging function on the website which you can reach out to. And yeah, we'd love to talk.
Now, I know that a lot of people who watch the broadcast are people who are job seekers and are looking. I can see here that actually you might want to pop that up, Jacob, that Terry on YouTube has said he's got a question for us. There we go. Why is that keep coming down? Does Carbon Invoice have socials page that we can follow to see some of the great work around the trees planting or Carbon Invoice are doing?
Absolutely. Great question, Terry. And that is part of communicating your impact and story. So for every one of our customers, including People to People and Frog, we create a positive business profile for them. So if you want to check out those, then go to positive.business, very simple URL, positive.business. And every one of our customers has their own public, transparent profile where we describe that what they have done to become part of this movement. So in People to People's case, they've measured their carbon footprint using a credible method. They have mitigated that carbon footprint by planting native trees in Australia and New Zealand. We display the progress of planting, so where those trees have been planted, how many of them have been planted. There's a map where you can track that information, and we do that for every one of our customers. So while we are facilitating our customers to take action and plant trees, really the credit goes to the customers. So you can track all of the impact that we're having as a community on that positive.business URL.
Fantastic. Righto. All right. Well, thank you very much, Carlos, for joining us for just a few minutes here on P2P Live. Hopefully we'll get you back in a few months' time and we can see how much impact that P2P and Frog have had so far, and you can tell us even more about the impact that Carbon Invoice is having, positive impact around the planet.
Thank you, Mark. And just a last point for the job seekers out there. I mean, if in those interview processes and if you do take on a new role, really encourage you to ask that question of your employer. What are they doing on the sustainability front?
Very much so.
We know this is very topical and raising an awareness. So yeah, have that conversation and see where your employers are at. It will only be a constructive one.
Now, it looks like we've got somebody who's an Ireland supporter who's put a comment on YouTube as well. Do you want to pop that one up for us, Jacob? And here's, I think it's Jess. She says, what do you see as the biggest challenge for businesses in becoming carbon neutral from day one, in the current day, I should say, hashtag Ireland for the win?
Great question, Jess. We'll deal with the second part of your question on Sunday morning or Saturday evening UK time. So I think biggest challenge is that businesses to date have seen carbon action, climate action, carbon neutrality as a cost and as a thing that they should do, but really it's a cost line. And that has held, I think that is the reason why globally less than 5% of businesses have actually got on board and started their climate journey. Now, I think we all play the game of capitalism. We've all largely bought into that. And for climate action to become mainstream and for us to solve this problem as a community of human beings, I think it has to be framed and realized as an opportunity and a benefit. So that would be my view of how we ultimately get mass participation of businesses in this, this key challenge, which is relevant to all of us as humans.
Great. All right. Well, thanks again, Carlos. I'm conscious of time, so we'll have to get you back on for and to answer a few more of these questions. But thanks, Carlos, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you, Mark, and thanks People to People and Frog for your leadership on this important issue.
Great. Thank you. Righto. Let's move on. It's time for our social media results. Now, last week we were saying, now if with the cost of living crisis, are you more inclined to work from home? And it appears that Australians are, well, at least those who are looking at all our socials at People to People, 63% of the 600, nearly 700 people who voted said, yeah, I'm working from home so I don't have to pay for the petrol bills. That's what's going on. But a solid third said, no, it's not affected me at all. Really interesting. Have your say at People to People on X and at People to People on LinkedIn. And here's this week's poll. So this week's poll is, in the last 12 months, has your employer implemented a new sustainable practices? We've just been chatting to Carbon Invoice. Has your organisation done anything about it? Yes, they have. No, they haven't. They've improved on current ones. Vote now at People to People on X or on LinkedIn. And that's it for this week. So just a last shout out for, should we shout out for the, I was going to say the All Blacks? I don't know. There's a lot of commiserations going on now with the cricket team. Apparently they're doing a Wallabies. That's what they're saying now. I don't know. We'll explore the results of Sunday next week. So join us then for P2P Live at 12:30 on Australian Eastern Daylight Saving Time, where we'll do P2P Live same time next week. We'll see you then.